Hello everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to LachanceGroup channel. This time we will hold the online webinar, and this time our technical teams will introduce the animal liver and will introduce why is animal liver is so important, and if the animal liver harmed, you will lose how much loss you will. How much money you will lose. And now let's see our expert, our doctor.
Dr. John, come here.
Hello everyone.
So this is our technical director, Dr. John.
Hello everyone.
So I'm aquaculture expert, Ben. So let's start the presentation. Actually, why we give this talk, because as we know that the liver is the most important organ for the human being, also for the farming animals like the poultry, like the swan and the ruminant. Of course, for aquaculture the same. Okay, let's start the topic. Hopefully, this is will be helpful for our audience. So the first part, I just like to share or introduce what is a liver. What is a liver? Okay, liver is the largest organ in the body for human being, for other animals, and also the largest digestive gland, which like the nutrients, protein, lipid, also carbohydrate digested in the liver, and the weight is around 2 to 3%. For the adult people, maybe around 1.5 kg in terms of weight. Okay, but the strange is in the liver there is no any nerve, so also we call dumb. And this size of organ have more than 500 biochemical reactions. Of course, also more than 1,000 functions. That's why until now, no any artificial organs or device can have the capability of reproducing the same function as liver. Okay, that's why so far no any such kind of artificial organs or device is capable of reproducing all the functions of the livers. Okay, from this photo we can see there is a plenty of reticulate vascular system in the liver. We can see a lot of vessels. Of course, the blood filled out isolated these cells into many layers. Later, I will show you some photos. Of course, when the blood in the digestive tract brings the nutrients from the portal vein to the hepatic sinusoid and the nutritious liver cells. Okay, this some is we can see the vessels. Some is For the bile duct, some is portal vein. And from this is a macrostructure of livers. There is plenty of liver lobules in the liver. Okay, this is from the screen, the photo, we can see the lobules. Lobules. Okay, this is a我们看一下鼠标，到时候给它指一下。有没有共享过这个？哎，那这样我们不共享，我们就直接讲，因为这样的话，我们可能给它指一下这，不指就算了。From the photos, we can see a lot of vessels like the portal veins, bile ducts, and also the arteries. For each liver lobule contains many hepatocytes. Okay, from the photo we can see the red color is hepatocytes. Of course, there is also plenty of corpuscles, which is for the liver defensing. Later we will give the details explanation. Okay, this is you can see the corpuscles. Okay, of course the bile canalicular, the tiny one brings carry all the hepatocytes secretions into the bile ducts, finally convert into the hepatic ducts. So this is what is the liver for the general information. Later I will invite our technical director, Dr. Zhang, to introduce main functions of the liver for the animals. Dr. Zhang.
Thank you. This part I will talk main function of liver. The function of liver include production of cholesterol, storage of macronutrient, blood sugar balance, protecting of bile. Also include protein synthesis, immune system. Also include metabolism, toxic function. Let me introduce this function detail. The first liver important metabolism. The most critical aspect of important metabolism that occur in the liver at following then amination and transamination of amino acid followed by conversion of the non-nitrogenous part of these molecules to glycolipids, remove or ammonia from the body by synthesis of urea. Synthesis of non-essential amino acid. Hepatocytes are responsible for synthesis of most of plasma protein. Second function is carbohydrate metabolism. Excess glucose entering the blood after a meal is rapidly taken by the liver, and as a large polymer glycogen Later, when the blood concentration of glucose began to decline, the liver activities other pathway which lead to depolymerization of glycogen and the export of glucose back into the blood for transport to all other tissue. The second function liver is the fat metabolism. Few aspects of lipid metabolism are unique to the liver, but many are carried out by the liver. The liver is extremely active in oxidizing triglyceride to produce energy. A bulk of the lipoprotein are synthesized in the liver. The liver is a major site for converting excess carbohydrate and protein into fat, acid, and triglyceride, which are then exported and stored in adipose tissue. The liver synthesizes the large quantities of cholesterol and phospholipid. The first function is liver detoxification. Detoxification, the liver is the body's main detoxification organ. It reduces macrostructure drugs and toxin and metabolites in the body. It reduces the toxification of drugs and the toxin through combined oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis, and even break them down into non-toxic compounds, which would be excreted through urine or bile. The fifth function of liver is defense, also immune function. The liver has largest number of buffer cells, which has strong abilities. At the same time, the liver is also an important place for synthesis of IgG, IgA, or IgM, and complement C3 or C4, and plays a vital role in the non-special immune of animals. The sixth function of liver is bile acid. Liver cells produce bile acid, which is transported to the gallbladder through the bile duct. The gallbladder concentrate and discharge the bile. Bile enter the intestines through the bile duct, which not only promote the digestion and absorption of fat in the small intestine, but also to accelerate the body metabolic waste and foreign bodies into the intestines and excrete the foreign bodies. Therefore, bile acid is both digestive fluid and extravascular fluid. Okay.
So I think just now Dr. Zhang deliver a lot of useful information, especially for the last part. For our liver can produce activated bile acid. But for the bile acid, especially important for the fat digestion, because this bile acid has a few functions in digest fat, like emulsion, promote the activity of lipids, also promote the absorption of fat. Okay, later maybe I will give a bit explanation. Okay, let's move to causes and harms of liver injury. So I mean, what kind of causes will damage the liver? Okay, I think the first is drugs. Okay, like the antibiotic, pesticides is very common in our daily life. And especially from this February, China government totally banned using of antibiotics. Okay, that's why now we transfer to the some plant extract of some Chinese herb to control or killing harmful bacteria. Another is overfeed. So this is especially for the farming animals and also ignoring by most of the farmers because as a farmers, they want to higher growth rate. They shorten the culturing period, also keep the overfeeding, then finally will result in the damage of the liver, increase the burden of the liver. Of course, another is high fat content feed. I mean, now based on our experience in the past 20 years, the fat content in our feed keep increasing. For example, for aquatic animals, for the fish, the fat content from 5% to 6, 7, 8 until 10, even some 12 to 15. And for the salmon, I think above 35%, which is really high. This also will cause the damage of liver. Another is for the super intensive farming in the poultry, in the aquaculture. When too crowded, too much animals in the small space, of course, will stress the animals. So toxin, macrotoxin is very common, especially this year I think in some of Asia country, when we harvest the raw material like the corn, like the soya, the rainy season. So a lot of, I think quite high percent of raw material decay and get the toxins like the aflatoxin B1. Of course, like the Vibrio, like the virus also will cause that damage of liver. This is the common reasons for damaging or injuring the livers of animal. So once the liver injured, what will cause? Okay, for in the aquaculture, this is a fish. So from the photos, we can see from left side to right side, I will introduce. So the first is for the liver. If you give too much fat or overfeeding, definitely will damage the liver. From the first photo, we can see the liver is like the rotten and white color. When you touch, the texture is very fragile. When you touch, there is a poop. Okay, this is a definitely will result in the slow growth of the fish and the rotten. The second photo, we can see the body of the fish rotten, and the third one is for the adverse bacteria infection, and the last is for nocardia virus. If the liver is healthy, maybe less chance to infect by the virus, by the bacteria, harmful bacteria. And for the poultry, I think when you dissect your chicken, you will found cytokines. The first is for the toxin levers. If you feed too much antibiotics or you feed the feed contain the mycotoxin will damage the liver. Finally, will cause the toxin levers. Affected by the bacteria, which is Salmonella, and also Vibrio hepatitis. And the fatty liver is very common. When you dissect, you will see the liver. And some chicken got the liver rupture. If the liver damage, so even you use the chemicals, you use the drug medicines, it will take a long time to recover and easily reoccur. That means, I mean, easily infect again by the pathogens. So another is for the swan. Okay, in China we call rust land. When the liver not healthy, I mean when the liver of pig not healthy, we'll call the rust land. You can see the first photo, the back of the pig got a land, we call rust land. And also the hair, not good. Bad hair, eye feces, so the last photo you can see the eye feces. The third photo is for the nutritional dairies for the piglet. So that means the most probably is a liver problem. So what will happen if the liver injured? Okay, I mean the bad result. Okay, the low feed intake. If unhealthy, subhealthy, or farming animals, definitely the feed intake decrease, and poor with vitality and poor anti-stress ability, lower immunity. Of course, the farming animal very weak. If the weather change, if the water change, they will infect by the pathogens. That finally will cause the higher mortality if not treated immediately or properly. Once the liver damage, what are we going to do, or how to repair or how to prevent? Okay, the last part is the solutions. Because now in the farming industry, there are plenty of animal health products like the phospholipid protect the integrity of cell membranes, and some chemicals, PTH, okay, which is a glutathione, and Chinese herb. This year I will introduce a bit more, because this year we totally banned the antibiotic in aquaculture. So, but the harmful bacteria still there. When you do the farming, the bacteria is there. Then how to control? This is a headache. This is a very headache for the farmers. So good news is we have a few product which can replace antibiotics, like the essential oil, like the Chinese herb. In China, we use what kind of Chinese herb? Licorice, honeysuckle, and silybum to improve the immune of the animals. Of course, now we also use a lot of bile acid, because the animals, due to overfeeding, the liver problem, fatty liver, all this, we use bile acid to keep the liver healthy and keep the animal healthy too. Okay, what kind of bile acid we are using? Actually, it's mixture They contain CDC, which is phenoldiallylic acid, and diallylic acid. So mixture product. This is quite good. Okay, if you have the fatty liver problem, if your farming animal got the liver problem, fatty liver, so you can try this product. Okay, very mature and quite effective. Of course, we also use some small molecular peptide to improve, to protect the intestine, to improve the immune of the animals. Of course, vitamin is the most common product, especially vitamin C. When your animal under stress, you can spray some vitamin C. In the market, they have this is there are plenty of such kinds of commercial products in the market. So if your animals, if you are facing such kind of problem, the intestine problem, liver problem, you can try to look for from the market. Okay. I think this is all our sharing for today's topic. We just give the general information. If you want to details, just leave the message or contact our team. We will give you the answers according to your request. Okay, thank you. See you next time.
Thanks to our expert, Dr. Bai and Dr. Zhang Wei. And if have any questions, you can send an email to our below mailbox. And also, if you want to learn who is LachanceGroup, and you also can click our website. And hope in the future we have more topics to discuss with you. And if you want to learn which thing in China market, you can send the email and the new message to us, and we will discuss with you online. And okay, thanks of all, and see you next time.